Okay guys, so we left it off with this. We now need to put a map here of this actual location with a little bit of details. So what we're going to do is jump back into Komodo Edit, and this is our single page. And what we first off, we're going to jump into base, and we're going to add a few things here in base. So add block styles. And block and put style, because these are inline style sheets that we'll just add on the occasion. Okay, now we're going to copy this and just change style to script and put it down here. Block script in block. Actually going to take this off, because if we use block script, we will have to remember to actually put in the script tags when we do it. Okay, so now in a single, we are going to be using a PDF document that I already put together for you, because it's a lot of JavaScript and there's no real reason for you to learn everything about JavaScript in order to use this. So what we're going to do is just copy and paste, and I'll go through some of the important parts. So you'd be able to manipulate it on your own. So open up that file. Now you have that open. The PDF document doesn't save it the greatest, so we're going to actually come through and copy each individual spot. So just come in here. As you notice, see it as I'm selecting, it goes down there and selects that for some reason. It's not supposed to do that, so grab that. And up here, we're going to write block script, and then paste that first part, and I'll explain what these things are shortly. And then let's copy this for loop information. Now all this, most of it should look pretty familiar. So the only difference is right here we're setting a variable for JavaScript. So we're setting a variable equaling to the first item in the loop. Now, if you remember, the details list has the latitude and longitude first and then second. So we just made a for loop that allows you to say if it's the first one, set it to latitude. If it's the last one, set it to longitude. Okay. Oops, we don't want to delete that. All right, and then we're going to come back in here, and we're going to grab a few more things. Just scroll down as far as you can until here. Paste that in, and we're going to want to grab this too. Put that at the end of that. Okay, so what's going on here? I'm going to just format it a little bit better, just so we can see what's happening. So initialize is a function. If remember, like if we did it in Python, it would be def initialize, right? And then it would take in some type of request and then go forward. In JavaScript, you actually have to declare it. But again, this is not about JavaScript. This is just about you guys learning the minimum that you need to actually change everything. All right, so it's initializing. It's having a zoom. You might zoom with a higher number is a closer zoom to the map. Zoom with a lower number is a further out, a more bird's eye zoom of the map. And we'll show you this in action shortly. So basically what it's doing, it's initializing, so it's actually putting the map out there. It's actually making it happen. This is an important part of our content. So this content is going to go into the description of the map. We'll see that in action here shortly too. So let's copy the rest of this stuff. Okay, right under our content. And then we'll grab script, end of that. And we can just copy this stuff down here. And that should be block styles, not block style. Okay. Now if we go in here, we'll see this canvas HTML information. We'll just grab that, put it down next to details. Okay, so let's scroll back up. Where you see this key equals to your API key, The way you're going to get that is by going into Google's API console, and this is where you would go. And then you're going to create a project. You're going to create a project. And what you want to do is go to the Google Maps API. And we're using version 3. So agree to these terms. Alright. We're not using version 2, so you don't have to worry about that. There is pricing if you go over 25,000 requests a day. I think that would be a good problem to have if you do go over 25,000 requests a day. Alright, so API access, this is where you're going to get it. You can just grab your API key there, and then going back into Komodo Edit, you can put it in here. And then just save that. And that will work now because it'd be specific to your API. If you don't want to do that, if you want to just use public access, which I think is limited to like 2,000 a day or something like that, you can just leave it out and have it be just like that. And we will do that for the sake of this example. Okay, so we save that. And one more thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to put these two into columns. And let's make sure it's in a row. Grab that. Alright. Save it. Now this should work. If we go back into Chrome into our document, just do a refresh, and there we go. So of course, you notice here is located at. This is just HTML content that I wrote here. It will work similar to like when we're bringing strings together, with one exception, as when you want to use Django like variables, you would do this. You need to actually put it in the parentheses for it to actually add and all that. This right here, lat, that is a variable that is a JavaScript variable, so we can call it exactly like that. We don't put quotes around it. But yeah, you could change this to HTML stuff, and we might do that in another lecture anyway, but that's just something important to know. And the location title, that is when you just scroll over this, it's going to show the title. It's not that one. That title is in var content. And we set that here, and then it, like on click, it will also open that. So, cool. That is implementing Google Maps, and it's pretty simple to do. If we want to change the zoom again, we can change it to 2, and it will be pretty zoomed out. If we change it to, I think it goes to 14, that's pretty zoomed in, and that might be pretty useful for us depending on what we're looking for. And now if we go back to any of our locations in Newport Beach, let's say Blue Water Grill, there you go. It's pretty fast, it works pretty well, and it's just taking those coordinates that we got from Loku, which is pretty awesome, right? So that's that. And in the next one, we are actually going to do a lot of this same stuff, but instead of using Loku, we're going to use Foursquare's data. All right, see you then.